Hey guys, this is Oksana from Crafts Journey, and today I'm going to convert this nice Easter bunny into a cross stitch chart. I know that Easter is already past, but we know that cross stitch is not happening over the night, so you need to be prepared before that, right? But before we'll dive in, I want to say one thing that I'm not an artist. I don't have any artistic background education, and neither I have any image editing education. I'm just a simple person who once got a hold of the conversion tool, start liking it and using it for my personal enjoyment to convert images into a cross stitch charts and stitch them. So I'm just a regular person who learning this skill, let's say. I want to make it better than what I have right now. So hopefully those of you guys who more proficient in it will give me some tips and tricks how to improve. And right now I'm going to show you how I'm doing it, and I would like to hear from y'all on any of your advices. There is another thing I want to mention that English is not my prime language, so while I'm speaking, I may have make a lot of mistakes. So bear with me. I hope you will understand what in the heck I'm talking about. It will hope it will be clear enough and not too harsh of an accent in your ears. So yes, let's see what we can do next. I think the next thing which I also want to mention that please don't think that the way I'm doing it is right way. There are a lot of people who've been doing these charts for ages and thousands of years. There is way much more professional people out there. I'm just I'm just a regular person like you, every one of you, and just found a tool and start using it. I learned a lot of stuff while I was using it because I already did a couple of images for myself and stitched them. Maybe later I'll show you those. Um, so I stumbled over a lot of questions while I was doing my first stuff. As I said, literally a couple of images, not just two, but few. And when I was researching online all those tips and tricks, there are there are not much information, I would say. There are quite a few, but not a whole lot, and it is scattered across the internet. There is no one decent spot where you can learn everything. There are some sites which have more than the other, which you can learn from. So I try to apply those tricks and tips from their sites to my own designs, and I did improve some stuff, but I still consider it's not that great. So please bear with me. Just see how I'm doing it. Hopefully you will have some fun. So before you start converting images to a chart, there are a few things which you need to have. First one, of course, is an image. Second is a tool which you're going to use for the conversion. And third, which I advise you to have, is some the chart, the color chart of your threads which you are going to use. I personally have DMC color chart with real threads, which I'm using sometimes to refer to pick up a color which I like more when I swapping colors. Um, there are, if you have something else, use that. Also, the tool which I'm using is WinStitch. Uh, Maybe in another videos I will explain to you why I picked up this over other, but there are a lot of tools which you can find online. This one I purchased. There are free tools in the internet, in browser tools, which you can use. They have all their limitations. Also, this one, the Vintage, I like a little bit more than the others because the way how it picks up, I think it picks up colors more closer to the reality. Like others may replace white with green, which is like pretty weird. I'm not saying this is perfect. It also does mistakes, so that's why I'm going manually and fix my images. But it does a little bit better color conversion than others. There is one in browser tool, online one, which I think is pretty great, but it's a little bit not beneficial for me. So this way is way much more beneficial for me. So the image which I showed you before, this bunny, is not mine. I didn't draw it. I pick it up in the internet. It is on a Pixabay, which doesn't have a copyright. These all images posted here, they don't have copyrights on it. It's free to use. As you may see, it's free commercial use, no attribution required, which means I can use this image, convert it into a chart, and I can sell the chart. I still prefer to contact a person before I'll do it for the permission, even though I'm not obligated to do it because it's already stated here I can use it. So this is what I use. This is the person who created this awesome image. So I downloaded it, save it, and now I'm going to use it. So I'm opening my WinStage. I select a menu saying convert image. I prefer to use advanced option because it allows me a little bit more playing around with customization. The image import wizard is pretty fast and also pretty great. So if you don't want to like bother yourself with playing around, just by all means take this one. Pretty fast, pretty easy, and pretty awesome. So I'm using this one. I'll say okay. I will pick up my image. So this is a small preview. This tells me by default the size will be 14 inches by almost 14, which is almost square. Um, I did pick up a ruler and take a look how big is that. I came to United States from Ukraine. I was using metric system. Here is imperial system, which inches is quite big. It's like 14 is a huge one, and I think that bunny is not going to look great when it is so huge. I did went and take a look that I actually like it size like 8-inch. Just keep in mind that if you decrease in the image size, you will lose a lot of details, especially in these small areas where in those clusters where you have a lot of details like eyes, like basket. You're not going to lose too much here, but when you have, as I said, clusters of a lot of details in one spot, that will be lost when you're decreasing. Also, when you increasing it too much, it like more than the regular image size, it will create those gaps and system trying to fill those gaps with extra colors, so it adds other colors to fill the gap. So that's why keep in mind how big of a size or small of a size you want to use if you don't like the default one. I didn't like, so as you may see I decrease it. I know it's going to, I'm going to lose a lot of details and I'm going to fix it down the road. So let's see how it will come out. So I'm using these stitches. It's IDA 14, but you can select wherever you like. Let's say if I'll select even view, you see my size decrease in 4 inches. It's super tiny. I want it to be an IDA 14 on a regular one. I'm using max colors NA. Maximum 250. I think it's for the anchor. So this is the brand of color threads which this tool supports. So I am going to use the DMC, and I'm not sure it's going to change. No, it's not. So I know the DMC has about like 400 something, 450 or whatever amount of colors. I am always given a system freedom to pick up as many colors as it needs, and I will go and modify them the way I like it. I can say no, use 15 colors, and it will try to make the best guess for these colors to match, but you may really lose a lot of depth into it. Let's say it may just leave this yellow one color, while I know based on this image, if you will see, uh, remove it. Let me zoom in. Based on this image, there are shades here, so keep in mind that stuff. The less colors you pick on the smaller size, the more flat and black and whitish you will receive the end result. I don't want it. I want to preserve depth as much as possible, so I will leave it in A, let system pick up as much as it needed. I will do stitches even though this system supports beads, canvas, and there are even more menus you can do even crochet here. So I'm doing cross stitch, even though I would like to play around with that too. So I'm leaving the dithering on checkbox because that allows the color transition, make a smooth transition if I need it. It's really useful for the big pictures, like if you do panoramic, something like huge, it allows those smooth transition of the colors and don't do sharp edges too. It's more like smoothing out, so it's trying to add more. You will receive at the end more colors than you actually your eye can see, but thanks to that, on the end result, you will have really that dimensional depth of a picture if you use dithering. Some pictures, if you have a little bit more flat image, as I had on my side, I had one image which is pretty flat. It was not supposed to be having a depth, so I just literally didn't use dithering at all. So, and it come out pretty awesome. So I'm going to use a dithering here just in case. I can leave it as is, but I will use it. I'm selecting DMC, it's the most popular one, even though I can select wherever I like. There is wool threads, there is isocuranic and Madeira and other stuff, Mill Hill beads if you're using beads, and so on, so on, so on. So let's click OK. And I'm going to show you also how the system converts if we will leave the default value of the size. So file, I will launch different window. I would like to leave this one for now, even though I can cancel it. So I will use again this bunny, and I will leave everything as is with the exception I will select DMC, and here's the conversion if you will leave 14 inches size, and you will see how much details have been preserved and how much details have been lost when we decrease. So as you may see, you see more defined eyes and mouse, which was lost here, and all these outlines. And I can tell you right now on this small one, I may probably will have to use backstage because adding like here, adding separate row of stitches, it will be 3 layers. I mean, not layers, but let's say 3 rows, which will make this eye like humongous. So I will have to sacrifice something like here on the eyebrows. You see it has this filler. Probably I will have to go without that, which will work just fine. So let me zoom a little bit out. All right, so I'm not going to use this one, even though it converted pretty nice. You can still use this one, 14-inch chart. Just remove these extra colors, and I'll show you how I'm doing on this smaller one to make it more nicer and more close to a picture look. But as I said, on IDA 14 inches, almost 15 inches picture, it is huge, because guys, if you are somewhere in Europe, 12 inch, it's about 30 centimeters. So another 2 inches, it's about another 5 centimeters. It's like almost half of a meter picture. It's not that great, so I want it to be small. So let's work with this one. Once we are done looking at it, saying, oh my gosh, that looks so bad. Let's see how many colors did it pick up. It picked up for some kind of reason 119, but it's using 111. Let me tell you this, on an 8-inch size of an image is a lot of colors. We are not going to use all of those. If I will take a closer look at this image, it's probably like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and those egg baskets, around probably 20 colors. If we'll take this type of shades on the nose, light pink, dark pink, outline. So we might have ended up sacrificing some colors over another. Maybe I will do this egg which look pretty crazy, just one color or two only, which removes, because I see one, two, three, four, five colors just on one egg. Oh, I don't want to do that. I will make it easier. So so yes, this will definitely will go away. As I said, I could pick up 20 colors at the beginning. If you wanna, let's take a look how it's going to look like. What the hell, right? Let's see. I just found out that when you pick up some, let's do 25, pick up something like that, it, as I said, it does a little bit more flat. I don't like the way it converts, but oh my gosh, let's see how it will look like. Maybe we'll go with this one. Oh man, I'm sorry, I didn't decrease the size. Launch, convert. Sorry, it was launch. 8, 8, and 25 colors, and DMC, and okay. Mm -mm -mm -mm. It did a lot of dithering here for some kind of reason, like added pink, which I don't need actually. It's more to change. How many colors does it use on this one? Oh yeah, silly me, I pick up 25. So pink, I added a lot of pink here, which I also don't need. You know what? I just not going to bother myself. I'll just leave this original one and we'll work with that. So the first thing which I'm doing, usually I do an reorder palette by usage. Click OK. As you may see, there are a lot of empty ones. I don't know why I did pick it up, and I don't know, and a lot of singles. Again, we're not going to use that one, especially like green. I mean, there are not much green on it, but you can see green here, which is, I'm sorry, not green. Some a lot of colors which we don't need. This one stage is too, it's just like you really don't need it. We are going to remove it. We probably will go down literally closer to 20, but while we are going to modify all these lines and everything, all this automatically will be recalculated and zeroed out, and we just then remove all everything unnecessary. But I prefer to leave some colors in case if there is some color which I would like one over another, and this is why, that's why I'm using that DMC color palette, just to refer to it and see which color I just like more. That one I will leave, and I don't know if it makes a better job when you select during the conversion those like to only 20 colors. On some images I did see it doesn't do that great of a job. As you saw, it adds pink, which sometimes can throw you off. So that's why during conversion leave that color amount like NA, and just don't worry about that. It will show you gazillion of numbers. They will be gone after your changes. So let me remove all these zeros, which I can do like go to palette menu and select remove all unused threads from the palette. It's removed. I also can tell you one thing here, that this white background, during the conversion system, this tool for some kind of reason puts blank color as a color DMC, which is number blank. Yep, not number. It's a name blank, which you also can find in a store. It really calls blank. There is no number for that. So I will show you how this image looks in symbols. So select here menu symbols, and you may see it puts this white 7,000 stitches. This is the thing. I'm going to leave it as a canvas. I'm not, it will be IDA 14, white or whatever color you will like to have. So you don't need to stitch all of that. So what I will do, I will just remove all of them. Remove all stitches from of active thread, and it removes all of them. If I'll put symbols, you see this doesn't exist anymore. As well as here, this we still can fill in with stitches if I would like to give a dimension for the image for the final project, or you can leave it as a canvas too and see how that will look like. You can always fill it later. So I will return back to blocks because that will allow me to see colors, and I can start modifying it. Alright, so while I was doing all of this, I don't know, but his left eye would really creep me out. It was so big and ugly that it would make this bunny look like he's retarded. So I decided to make some adjustments to it, and at the end I made some cosmetic makeup for his right eye too. So my next step, you know what, I'm actually pretty pleased with the result, and my next step is to convert it into the PDF and start stitching it. But that will be the topic for my next video, probably. We'll see. Thanks. Bye.